What's up, world? We are back again for another episode of The Conversation. Thank you for joining me for this topic today. We're going to jump right in it. We going down the rabbit hole for this episode. The topic of the conversation today has to do with satanic symbols in society and in the entertainment industry. Now, I know when a lot of people hear this topic, they start to think about conspiracy theories. It's not true. It's not real. It's all fake. It's all made up. And, I guess people kind of feel that way because they don't want to admit or believe that, their favorite artist or their favorite entertainer or actor might actually be a part of, satanic society, secret society. But, what I like to look at, there are certain things that I constantly and consistently see in everyday life and society and, videos and pictures and whatnot. And it makes me think like, what is this all about? What's the origin of it? Where does it come from and what's the purpose of it? So, I know a lot of us have seen, certain imagery from, artists, certain pictures and symbols and whatnot. And, we kind of overlook it. But like I said, when you see it enough times, at least for me, it makes me curious and it makes me want to research and get into, what is that all about? So case in point, a couple years ago, I was driving through Times Square in New York City. And as everybody knows, Times Square is full of billboards. And one particular billboard caught my eye. It was of the singer Usher. And it's a huge billboard, and he was promoting like some digital camera or something. But what caught my eye, the picture he took was, like this. He was covering his left eye. Now, if I didn't know any better, I would just think, okay, that's an odd pose, but, whatever. But, again, I've seen that so many times, particularly in the entertainment industry among performers, that it makes me wonder, where does that come from? Why are they all doing it, and what's the purpose of it? So, let's start there. That's where I started to do my research. So, covering the left eye. And if we take a look at all these pictures that we're showing right now, just take a look at all these, artists that are covering their left eye. I mean, I have seen literally probably hundreds of pictures or videos with this symbolism. So, what does it mean? So, if you take a look throughout all of history, the eye has always been, symbolic to spirituality, right? They even link it to divinity. Some cultures say that the sun is the eye of God, right? And when we talk about the third eye, the pineal gland, that's also associated with enlightenment and spirituality. So, that's the symbolism of the eye. While in ancient times, the symbol of the eye or the all-seeing eye was often equated with the sun god, it gradually became a symbol of power of the secret societies that shaped history in the last centuries, right? So, why the left side? Why are they covering the left side? So, all throughout history, and I never knew this, the left or the left side was always associated with evil or wrongdoing. They actually used to believe that people who were left-handed were actually evil people. So, that's the significance of the left side. So, for instance, the word sinister comes from a Latin word meaning on the left side. The earliest uses of the word in English, which date back to the 14th century, is evil, malevolence, pertaining to the left. So, that's the purpose or the meaning behind them covering the left eye. But again, what are they all doing it for? Why are your favorite artists covering the left side of their eye or covering their left eye? So when you hide one eye, you effectively block half of your vision. In symbolic terms, you become half blind to the truth. By hiding one eye, celebrities symbolically sacrifice a vital part of their being for temporary material gains. And since eyes are the windows to the soul, this gesture symbolizes the partial or total loss of one's soul. So we've heard, all these stories about, celebrities having to sacrifice their soul, that they're signing their soul over to the devil. Is that figurative or is that literal? So again, it makes you wonder, what is it what's the message that they're trying to convey by constantly taking pictures like this? Who are they showing allegiance to while they're doing this? And again, the purpose of this show is to get people to think. And if you can get past, your how much you like your favorite artist, for instance, some people have said that Beyonce has, exhibited or shown some of these satanic symbols, So if you could get past your like for artists like Beyonce and, really look and see, what's the purpose of them doing this, right? From the things that I've read and the research that I've done on this particular topic, it's said that the people who control the entertainment industry and the music industry are part of a global elite, and they have an agenda, and they practice occultism, and they practice Satanism. So the purpose, based on the research that I found of what the main goal of the global elite and why they're doing all of these things that are happening in today's society, the reason is for the debasing of the human psyche, the promotion of Satanism, the normalization of mind control, the normalization of transhumanism, the blurring of genders, and more. And the ultimate goal is to have the masses stray as far away as possible from truth, health, and balance. So, if we take a look at what's going on in society today, doesn't it seem like we're straying further and further away from truth and reality? Like you can't even trust what you see with your eyes anymore, or people tell you that you're crazy. There's, I think, always been an attack on our health, whether it be our physical or our mental health or our emotional health. And there seems to be, like the world is off balance right now. Again, take a look at what's going on in society and try to think about what's the purpose of it. So another gesture or a hand sign that, I came across is called El Diablo, right? And the sign is this, or it could be like this. And, it's often been associated with the sign language sign for I love you. So as I was doing this research, I found that, I think everybody's familiar with Helen Keller. She was deaf and blind, and she was mute. She couldn't talk. So she basically created sign language, the way to for people who can't hear to communicate or who can't speak. And they say that she herself was into occultism and also Satanism. So that's something that's worth researching. But what's the significance of this sign, this hand gesture? So basically, it's two hand signs. One is this, which means allegedly I love Satan, or this one is showing that the person doing it is that they're indicating their allegiance to Satan. So again, I've seen hundreds of pictures with celebrities, making this hand gesture. So take a look at all these pictures right now, from politicians to religious leaders, your favorite rapper, your actor. Why are they all doing this? I read somewhere that this is actually the sign for the Texas Longhorns, University of Texas. But I've actually seen the pictures where the Pope is doing this. I don't think he's a Texas Longhorn fan. So what's really going on here? Again, the purpose of this is to be thought-provoking, to get people to research and think outside of the box. But, look at how many celebrities, politicians, athletes use that sign. It's got to mean something. So if we go a little bit further down a rabbit hole, I came across this picture once, and it always struck me as odd, like, really what the hell is going on in this picture. So if you take a look at this picture of A$AP Rocky, him and his boys, it looks like, it doesn't look, it is, they are standing in a pentagram with a bunch of candles, and it's like they're reading from books. Like, what the hell is that? That's got to mean something. And again, if I didn't know better, I would look at that and, probably not think twice about it. But because of all the research and things that I've come across, it makes me wonder, like, what is that? So again, it goes back to, we've always heard the cliche of, to be an artist, you have to sell your soul, right? Or pledge your allegiance to Satan. Is this picture that was happening? I don't know. It's enough to make you think, though. So let's go further down the rabbit hole. In my research, I came across, some satanic symbols that we see in everyday life and logos from some of our most favorite companies. So let's go down the list of what people allege are satanic symbols. So if we take a look at the Walt Disney logo, right? The way Walt Disney's name is written, it appears that the number 6 appears in the letter D, the letter I, and the letter Y. So if we take a look at the symbol here, we can see that. I'm going to get back to Walt Disney in a minute. But the next one is actually the streets around the White House in Washington, D.C. So if we take a look at this picture, we can see that the streets are almost, it looks like very much so that it's constructed like a pentagram. And at the top of the pentagram is the White House. There's also the Pentagon, which basically is a pentagram. So for all my conspiracy theorists out there, they say that 9/11, what took place on 9/11 back in 2001, was actually a sacrifice. So 3,000 people were sacrificed in the World Trade Center, in addition to the folks that were on the plane crash. And then they say that the Pentagon, the destruction at the Pentagon was actually part of the ritual of lighting a pentagram on fire. I don't know. It seems a little too much of a coincidence, and me personally, don't really believe in coincidence. But again, check it out. The streets around the White House constructed to look like a pentagram. Then there's the Pentagon. I don't know. The next one is the Starbucks circle. So if you take a look at this symbol, it shows that when it's turned upside down, it's very similar to the emblem used by the Order of Baphomet, which is one of the offshoots of satanic cults. And also specifically the spacing of the stars and the double circle shield design are said to resemble one another. Again, research that. The Statue of Liberty. So they say it was designed by a Freemason, and the Statue of Liberty represents Lucifer. The statue's lighted torch and the crown also is said to represent the goddess of Venus. The Statue of Liberty actually tells that liberty is achieved from humans and cultures and not from God. So, is that another, ideology of Satanism? It's a symbol of the rebellion with God. So again, do a little bit of research into that and look or research the gentleman who designed the Statue of Liberty, and you will see he was a Freemason. This next one, I don't know, but they also say the Monster Energy drink logo. The logo is fashioned to look like three claws, but in actuality, they are the Hebrew symbol for the number 6. So if you look at that, look at the logo, it has 3 of those alleged claw marks. And what the theory says is that equals 666. Who knows? So on the flip side, I came across also a lot of people believe that the inverted cross is a satanic symbol. Like you see a lot of artists wearing that, like, what's his name? Lil Uzi Vert. He wears an inverted cross a lot. And actually, it is not a satanic symbol. It's actually the opposite. So for all my people out there who follow religion and Christianity, when St. Peter was crucified, he requested that he be crucified upside down because he was not worthy of being crucified the same way that Jesus was. So that's actually the real meaning behind the inverted cross. It's not a satanic symbol. So, again, do a little bit of research and you'll find the truth behind certain things. So, I mentioned Walt Disney a little while ago. And not only, is it theorized that the Walt Disney logo has, the 666 in it. If you do research on Walt Disney, he was also alleged to have been a pedophile. And if you look at a lot of the cartoons from Walt Disney back then, some of it is kind of questionable. Like, because if you think about it, made for children, and some of the imagery, it was kind of sexualized. So, do some research on Walt Disney. But, they say pedophilia is also, sort of tied into Satanism, because they believe certain satanic beliefs are around that children have a certain type of energy that you can tap into. And one of the ways is to tap into them is to brutalize them and abuse them sexually and physically. So in 2007, the FBI actually released several symbols that were reportedly used by pedophiles to communicate and identify each other. So what we're going to do now is we're going to look at that. We're going to show, some of these symbols. So this symbol here, this is known as the boy lover logo. It's a triangle inside a triangle, which signifies a man who likes younger boys. This next symbol, which is a heart within a heart, is known as the girl lover logo, which indicates a pedophile that prefers young girls. The child lover symbol, it indicates pedophiles who don't have a specific gender preference. The child lover symbol uses a butterfly made out of hearts. Now, going back to Walt Disney, if you go look at some of those cartoons or movies that I'm talking about, you can actually find some of those symbols either in the movie or like on the advertisement for the movies, like the movie posters or whatever. There are also certain companies that have these symbols in them, right? I don't want to get canceled prematurely, so I'm not going to say anything or point out those companies. But we showed you the logos. Go do your own research. and see what you come up with. So as I was doing this research, I came across something that was actually pretty interesting. So the LA police badge that the officers wear actually has the Boy Lover logo in it. If you take a look at this picture right here, right? So, of course, I had to do a little bit of research and look into that. So if you, again, I'm not going to, give too much information, but if you go and look back at the sheriff who designed that badge and what he was into or alleged to have been into, it's pretty interesting. Again, I'm not going to give too much information on that because I don't want the conversation to be canceled. But, the purpose of me doing this, I wanted to, again, talk about some of the symbols and things that I see consistently in society and in the entertainment industry and in movies and whatnot. And, if I were to see it maybe once or twice or maybe even 3 times, okay. But to see it constantly over and over and over again, there's got to be some type of meaning behind it. Like I said, a lot of us don't like to think about that. A lot of us don't want to think that some of our favorite celebrities and athletes or whatever are into that type of thing. But, from the people that I've spoken to who are a part of the entertainment industry or the music industry, they say that to get to certain levels of success, there are certain things that you need to sacrifice about yourself. So, is there, truth into the fact that people say you have to sell your soul? What does that look like? Again, I'm always going back to that picture that we showed earlier with A$AP Rocky. Seemed like a ritual was going on there. I've heard, and I'm sure you've all heard, the theories about, certain celebrities who sacrifice, family members in order to receive accolades or to attain a certain level of success. The one last thing I'm going to end with, which is, kind of a conspiracy theory. It's a bit of some might say it's a coincidence, but I'll just leave you with this. So, if we take a look at, so we say that Michael Jordan is arguably one of the best, if not the best basketball player to ever step on the court. So if you take a look at his 6th championship that he won, right? He won it game 6. Like I said, his 6th championship in game 6. If you take a look at that famous last shot that he took, and if you look at that picture and you look at the number, look at the time that's on the shot clock, it's 6.6 seconds. So game 6 to win his 6th championship takes the final shot to win with 6.6 seconds left on the clock. Is that a coincidence? I don't know. And how tall is Michael Jordan? I believe he's 6'6", right? His number is 23. 2 times 3 is what? 6. Now, some might say I'm taking it a little bit far. That might be a little ridiculous. But, again, who knows? I mean, look at it. Like I said, win the 6th championship in the 6th game of the finals, takes the final shot and hits it with 6.6 seconds left on the clock. That seems like a little bit more of a coincidence to me. But, hey, just something for you all to think about. So, once again, thank you for joining me and listening to my rants. I appreciate it. More episodes coming soon where we're going to go down the rabbit hole even further. So thanks for tuning in to this episode. I appreciate it. And make sure to tune into the next coming episodes. We're going to be going further down the rabbit hole. Thank you.